Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tylearn, and today we are going to be doing What If Gohan Liked the Idea of Fighting. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this scenario is because not only do people want a scenario revolving around Gohan, but everybody on my channel for some reason thinks I hate Gohan. Just because in some of my scenarios he doesn't fight, therefore everybody thinks I hate Gohan, and oh my god, why can't he be a Chad? Like, I don't get it. So instead of people complaining, they can actually just support me for once, because I'm talking about an idea where Gohan actually likes fighting, and he's going to be the main character I'm focusing on in this What If. And if you guys want another part of this series or another What If revolving around Gohan, comment down below what ideas you would like me to do, and share your support on the video by liking the video, subscribing if you are new to the channel, and hitting the bell icon. That way you are notified and updated when I upload. Showing your support does tell me that you guys want more parts, so show it. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the scenario, and I hope you guys do enjoy.
Hey, collecting rings like I'm Sonic. Bitches wanna party. Virus getting heavy, so I got 'em on a diet. Yeah, flex like I'm Hogan. Yobi's coming over. Yeah, we respect.
Here we are going to be having Gohan be more interested in fighting and his Saiyan side taking the forefront, instead of picking up pencils and writing essays and spitting facts like in canon. Gohan would sometimes see his dad training outside, and he just mimics him in his own room where Chi-Chi tries to get him to study. When Chi-Chi gets mad at Gohan one day for catching him training instead of studying, she would yell at him, and Goku would open the door and ask what's going on, as he did hear screaming from outside, so he was wondering if everything was fine. Chi-Chi explains the situation, but Goku would say how Gohan does have Goku's genes, and you already know how much he likes to fight. Chi-Chi does get that, but Gohan does need to study. He can't just, become a fighter and not have any type of education whatsoever. That's not what she's going to have for her kid. And so Goku would compromise. In this timeline, instead of Gohan just becoming a full-on schoolboy and not really having any intentions on training or becoming a fighter, Gohan already has this idea stapled in his mind, and Goku would allow Gohan to train with him at least once or twice a week, while any other time Gohan wasn't doing any training, he would just be focusing on his schoolwork. Over the years as well, Gohan's time training with Goku would increase, since he would be working hard so he can do more training specifically. By the time of early Dragon Ball Z, where Gohan is introduced to everybody, he would be at a power level of 25, so stronger than the average human and stronger than even Kid Goku, but not too powerful. Raditz still arrives, trying to bribe his brother, smacking Krillin into Roshi's house, and then beating up Goku himself, and Gohan getting enraged at this. Gohan isn't the same defenseless boy as he was in canon in this timeline, and so he would actually land a pretty decent blow on Raditz in the gut. In hindsight though, this just enraged Raditz, and Raditz would then go on to kidnap Gohan, Goku and Piccolo team up, and Gohan would still free himself from Raditz's pod. However, with him having some training under his belt, and this time being at a power level of 25 rather than a power level of 1, this would also result in Gohan's Rage Boost power level being a lot stronger and is going to be more than enough to kill Raditz. It's not just going to significantly damage him. Instead, Raditz actually dies in this timeline, and he would still warn the Z-Fighters of the two other Saiyans that would be arriving in about a year, since Vegeta and Nappa would still go down to Earth out of curiosity of this half-Saiyan child bringing down Raditz. Sure, it's Raditz, but then again, it's still a child, and this child could actually prove to be pretty useful in the battle against Frieza whenever they rebel. And so, they would be on their way, and Goku, Piccolo, and the others would then begin training. Goku would train with Piccolo, while Gohan would be suggested by Goku and the other Z-Fighters to go and train with Roshi and Korin, and that's what he's going to be doing throughout the first 4 months of his training. After this, he would spend the rest of his training with Goku and Piccolo, who would see the progression Gohan's made and help him grow even more. Piccolo especially would like to train him up, since he's going to be a trump card against the Saiyans. Now, after the last few months pass by and everyone's ready to fight, the Saiyans arrive, and they would still destroy a city. Now, for everybody's power levels, I think the humans would be the same, while Goku would be at a power level of 15,000. This is because rather than spending his time learning techniques and moving to King Kai's planet, he was right off the bat just training his physical body, so I think base to base he would be stronger, but overall he's weaker because he doesn't have the Kaioken. This would result in Piccolo becoming a lot more powerful as well, reaching a power level of 9,000 exactly, and Gohan himself would reach a power level of a little over 3,000. And I know that might sound kinda highballed, but I mean, think about it. Gohan in this timeline actually likes fighting, so if anything, he has the goal of wanting to surpass the Saiyans as well, meaning he would get a lot more powerful in result. And not to mention, he's training with a way stronger Goku and Piccolo. The Saiyans arrive, and like in canon, they would all meet up at the wasteland, and Nappa would release the Cybermen to test them out. Yamcha still dies, Krillin negs most of them, and one Cyberman would try and off-guard Gohan, but Gohan would actually see this attack coming from a mile away in this timeline due to being a lot more powerful, and he would manage to kick the Cybermen up in the air and fire his own Kamehameha wave that would vaporize him on the spot. He would then tell the Saiyans to stop playing around, as Vegeta would then laugh, and he would propose to not only Gohan but also to the other Z fighters including Goku to either die here by Vegeta and Nappa's hands or join them in defeating Lord Frieza. Obviously, Gohan and the others aren't going to fall for it, and this would lead into Vegeta sending Nappa out to go and fight the Z fighters. Meanwhile, Vegeta would rush at Goku himself and would fight him one-on-one. Piccolo, seeing this and being the other strongest person other than Goku, who's currently getting body right now, decides to tag team with Goku once again and try and help him defeat Vegeta. Meanwhile, Nappa fights the other Z fighters, and Vegeta already just outclasses Goku, so Goku and Piccolo need to work together and need to be extremely focused on Vegeta to even hold their own, meaning they have no way of trying to save the other Z fighters against Nappa. This would result in Chaozu and Tien's death, and Nappa would try and blast at Gohan. However, Gohan in this timeline, rather than being a scared little boy, would understand the circumstances of the situation and realizes that he can't die here. He needs to save everyone right now. If he dies right now, then so does Krillin, and then Nappa and Vegeta just jump Piccolo and Goku, and they lose. Gohan, being fueled by not only rage due to the fear of failing, but also not wanting Krillin and the others to die, would allow him to reach a power level of over 5,000, which is above base-to-base Nappa. And this is before Nappa started adapting and actually forcing Goku to use the Kaioken in order to beat him. So Nappa would still be at his base 4,000, meaning Gohan would overpower him before Nappa could adapt, erasing him on the spot. While this was happening, Piccolo and Goku would have been teaming up against Vegeta, however, they would still prove to be no match. This would lead into Piccolo then deciding to rely on the special beam cannon, and Goku along with Krillin and Gohan would do their best to try and stall time, giving Piccolo the time he needs to fully charge the attack, and when he launches it at Vegeta, Vegeta last second attempts to dodge, however, instead of him fully evading the attack, it grazes his shoulder, weakening him. After this, Goku and Piccolo, even 2v1ing Vegeta now, can easily just beat him up, and this would enrage and frustrate him, forcing him to fly up into the sky and fire off a Gallic gun, while the Z fighters all fire their own combined attack that would overpower Vegeta's and seemingly kill him. However, it's revealed that he's actually alive and he would go Great Ape, and the rest of that essentially plays out the same. Krillin and Piccolo both want to finish off Vegeta, but Goku wouldn't allow this as he wants to fight him someday on his own and beat him fair and square. Vegeta leaves and the Saiyan saga then concludes. After this, we still have our Z fighters going to Namek, but instead of Gohan and Krillin, it would be Krillin and Piccolo due to him surviving in this timeline, and Gohan would have had worser injuries than Piccolo in my opinion, since he literally had to break his limits in order to defeat Nappa. And not to mention, Piccolo can regenerate, and so he, Krillin, and Bulma would then head off to Namek, while Goku and Gohan would go in the second ship, which Goku would tell Dr. Briefs to try and implement some type of training system, and this would lead into him coming up with the gravity ship. The original events on Namek are relatively the same, except for Piccolo by the time of when the Ginyu Force arrived would have been far more powerful than Gohan, allowing him to fold Goldo initially and combat Jason Birder, but gets overwhelmed in the end. This is due to Captain Ginyu getting involved because Piccolo himself is actually stronger than Burger and Chase combined, however Captain Ginyu himself is far more powerful than Piccolo. And so initially seeing his comrades struggle, he would decide to intervene and he would beat him up himself and would still go on to go and give the Dragon Balls to Lord Frieza. As for Goku and Gohan, when they arrive on Namek, Goku's power level would be at 150,000, whereas Gohan would be at 60,000. They would arrive to help out the Z Fighters combat the Ginyu Force, who would be tired and beaten from their fight with Piccolo, however in the end would manage to get the upper hand due to Piccolo falling to Captain Ginyu. And so Krillin, Vegeta, and Piccolo are all saved and healed up by Senzus, and the rest of the Ginyu Force is then killed off thanks to Vegeta. Now as for the Captain Ginyu encounter, that all happens the same, with Piccolo and Vegeta jumping Goku and damaging him, leading into Ginyu trying to body swap with them, but Goku gets his body back and Ginyu Frog still happens. However, Piccolo seeing the frog hop away and knowing what Ginyu did to him isn't going to let him just walk away, and so he would finish him off, killing off the entire Ginyu Force on Namek at this time. Goku still goes in the healing tank and Vegeta falls asleep, allowing Krillin and the others to then sneak the Dragon Balls from him, and they would revive Chaozu and then Tien. However, before they could save anyone else, Frieza kills Guru and he would still go on to fight the group just like in canon. Piccolo would have reached the power level of 364,000 by this point, which is essentially the completed Guru boost, and him along with Vegeta would force Frieza into using his second form. Krillin still gets stabbed and Gohan gets enraged, however he wouldn't be nearly as powerful given the fact that he never gets the Guru boost. Meaning Gohan's rage boost wouldn't be nearly as powerful, and so second form Frieza would just be beating up Gohan and would get ready to finish him off with the death beam. However, Piccolo would intervene, sacrificing himself. Gohan would be enraged from this because he did bond with Piccolo a little bit, even if it's not as much as in canon, and plus somebody dying for you regardless is going to enrage you, especially if you're Gohan, who is trying to literally just be good enough to fight the good fight. When Piccolo dies, we see a power dormant within Gohan starting to slowly release itself, and when Gohan powers up enraged at Piccolo's death, we see a hint of yellow in his aura. Frieza laughs at Gohan crying, and he would then fire a beam seemingly at Gohan. However, when Gohan dodges, we see the beam perfectly aligning with Krillin's chest, and it would go right through him, killing him on the spot. With Krillin dead, Frieza would just laugh, saying how Gohan killed his own friend, as he would just start hysterically laughing now, and this would only enrage Gohan even more. Gohan was already close enough to Super Saiyan, but with this final death that was his fault, he would snap, unleashing all of his hidden power, emerging in the Super Saiyan transformation. Frieza would then transform into his third form because of this, and would tell Gohan and Vegeta he still has one more form. Gohan, being blinded by rage, doesn't care and would unleash all of his power into one blast. Gohan's base power would be at 3 million, however he's enraged on top of this, so he's even stronger than that, and him unleashing all of his power at this point on third form Frieza would quite literally be overkill for third form Frieza, and before he could transform into his final form, he is vaporized. Namek is saved, Gohan is actually the first Super Saiyan, Vegeta never dies, and no new Namek ever happens. Also, Goku never goes to Yardrat. After this, we would have a 1-year peace gap where we see Gohan and Goku currently training with each other, and by this point, Gohan can turn Super Saiyan on and off, and by this point as well, Goku would have well already achieved Super Saiyan. This is because his son already has access to this form, and so in hindsight, he would have an easier time trying to access this form as well. And as for Piccolo, he would have been falling behind significantly due to him never absorbing Nail, and so this would lead into him actually seeking Kami's advice to try and train somewhere, leading into him recommending about King Kai. And so roughly around the 10-month mark of the 1-year peace gap, Piccolo goes out to go and train with King Kai, and he would learn the Kaioken, Spirit Bomb, etc. Now, King Cold and Mecha Frieza don't arrive in this timeline, however, a mysterious warrior from the future still does, and that's where I'm going to be leaving this timeline off for now. If you guys do want to see part 2, let me know down in the comments section, subscribe if you are new to the channel, hit the bell icon, follow me on Twitter, that will be linked in the description, and be sure to leave a like on the video and share with your friends. My name is Tylearn, I'm going to see you all in the next video. Peace out, have a nice rest of the day, everybody.